Alright guys, welcome to Haugen Racing. So there's a big argument in drifting, or at least there has been since I started. V8 drivers are lazy. Turbo, 2JZ, SR20, whatever drivers. They're like sticking to the roots, the true drifting.
This is an OG call. I'm keeping it.
So I kind of want to break down why people think that and what it really means within driving and within drifting, and how you can actually be lazy with a turbo motor, you can be lazy with the V8, and you can be like a savage and really on point with a turbo motor or a V8, and it makes a difference on both motors. Let's get started with Naoki Nakamura. This is an SR20 180SX. And so what I kind of want you guys to pay attention to, and what we're going to look at, is really listen to throttle and throttle control. Okay, so see when he whipped it in there, he was revving up the motor. So what he's doing is he's keeping it in boost. So with the turbo motor, it's really important, especially with the turbo motor, to keep it in boost because it takes longer, there's lag, and it doesn't have that low end torque like a V8 might. See how he's whoop, 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 whoop. You can hear it. But he's really good with keeping the car in boost at all times. And that was a sick one. That was a really good one. Okay, so now we have Vaughn Gittin Jr. and he's in a supercharged V8 Mustang. So you would, if the argument is V8 drivers are just lazy and can be, then he would just be able to, handbrake, no sound, and then just dump the clutch and be fine. But if you hear, every time he's on handbrake, he's still revving up that motor. He's keeping it in a high RPM range. A little bit there, but he revved it up as he dumped the clutch out. So that one was a little bit, but even with the turbo motor, I mean, that was a fairly long handbrake and he had to do it there. But if you listen, so there's a little lag there, but then he's whoop, 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 and then dumping the clutch. And so he could probably get away with not doing that and just kind of dumping the clutch and being lazy with it, but it's not gonna be as exciting sounding, and it's gonna be like slower back into boost and back into like the right torque range. And so it's a lazier way of driving. Just the fact of the matter is you can get away with it easier with something that's V8, especially like a supercharged V8. But there is a little bit of a difference. As we're looking at these, there is a little bit of a difference in kind of how aggressive they are with the throttle, especially when they're in kind of downtime. Okay, so now we have a 900 horsepower SR20. This is Dave Briggs. He was a Formula Drift driver. So see when he handbraked there, he revved it up, kept it in the torque range so he could dump the clutch off of handbrake. A dead time. And see, that right there, that was kind of dead time, and then he had to kind of clutch kick to get it back up. Me personally, I think the better way to do that turn would have been when he had that dead time, be revving it up, and so he didn't have to do that kind of clutch kick right on the wall there. It worked out, but it would have been more aggressive and more exciting the other way. Okay, so I thought this would be cool. This is a little bit of in-car with Matt Field, who will have a Pro-Charged V8, and then Michael Essa, who I believe is turbocharged S54 BMW engine, and then Dean Kearney, which is twin turbo V12 or V10, sorry, Viper. Super dead time on the handbrake there, and Matt Field is a really aggressive driver. He's not lazy, but that, I mean, I'm gonna say it, that was a little lazy there. I would have liked to see him modulating the throttle, keeping it up there. It's just more exciting when you're on handbrake. So now let's watch Michael Essa, where it's even more important to keep it there, especially on a turbocharged car. And something high horsepower like this, it's gonna have lag. So you heard that. It was light, but on handbrake. He was whoop, whoop, whoop. And so that there, like, I mean, coming around that corner, he didn't really do it. And then if you heard he had to clutch kick there, I would have liked to see him like bumping the throttle as he was coming around that turn. I don't think he would have, the clutch kick would have been necessary once he wanted to get back on throttle. So it's interesting. He did kind of a different thing at the start of the run as he did at the end of the run. Okay, so now Dean Kearney, he has a V10. I mean, that is a torque monster, right? So, super dead on the handbrake. We didn't get away with it, you know, good old V10. But to me, it's not as exciting sounding. And if you even heard Castor in the back, like he was revving up before he let off handbrake and then got back on throttle, and you can hear his car even over the V10. It's a more exciting sound. Okay, so we're gonna finish it off with Mad Mike. So he's in a Rotary. Arguably, probably the most critical to keep them revved up. They make like very little torque at low RPM, and they just live, you know, really high up in the RPM range. The whole time through there. Always revving it up, always staying on throttle. So I feel like the biggest thing is like with turbo cars, you kind of have to do this technique. With V8 cars, you don't always necessarily have to, but if you notice, some of the really, really good drivers, and when they're really on point, they still drive it like a turbo car. That's kind of the main point I'm trying to get across is I don't think V8s are lazy, but there are people out there and you can drive them lazy. So I'd say if you had a V8, just pretend like it's a turbo motor. Drive the shit out of it. So that was another great example, and that's like, watching this video, there's no dead time. There's no like, whoa, 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 and then whoop, dead, and then, you know, back into it. It's like the whole time you can hear the motor revving up. So guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. And I keep in mind with these videos, guys, if you're still here watching this video, it's not that I do it all the time perfectly, absolutely not, but it's something that's conscious and I'm always thinking about. And so I'm just trying to kind of help you guys be conscious of it, be aware of it. It's gonna make you that much better of a driver and you're gonna be that much more exciting. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. Let me know below, what do you prefer? Turbo, V8 motors, do you like both? So let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear it. And we'll see you guys in a couple days. Peace.